Hi there, it's Rebecca on the Coaching Podcast, and welcome to today. As always, we have some inspiration and motivation here for you today. And if you love this, then please do head over to thesuccesstribe.co and register for our emails with super cool information and value straight to your inbox. Never miss a thing. Head over to the Facebook page, Rebecca Lockwood, The Success Tribe, and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 9 and 11 a.m. London time. Enjoy! This is Laura Barlett, founding editor of the House of Coco magazine. Yay. So I've been following you on Facebook then for the past couple of months, and everything you're doing looks absolutely amazing, which is why I contacted you to appear on this interview today. But I'll let you take over and explain to everyone what it is that you do.
Okay, sure. Well, thank you. I own a company called House of Coco, which is a travel magazine. It's a quarterly print magazine. Here.
Oh, wow.
And it's sold in London, so you can buy it on the newsstand in shops like Harrods, Selfridges, WH Smith. You can download it in the App Store, or you can buy it via our online retailer, newsstand.co.uk. So basically, I publish this magazine with my team of contributors from around the world.
That looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. So how long have you been going for?
So House of Coco in its current form will be 3 years in September, but in terms of running a publishing business and working for myself will be 7 years. Wow. But obviously been on a bit of a journey in that time, like most people. But House of Coco will be 3 in September.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell us then about this journey. Where did it all begin?
So it all started 7 years ago when I worked for a local magazine, and my background was radio. I worked in media sales for the local radio station, and I used to go to all these like glitzy, glamorous events and used to sell advertising and create amazing, fun packages for brands. And I just always thought I want to do this on my own merit. Like I want to be at these events for my company, and I want to create cool campaigns for brands under my company name. And then I was headhunted by a local magazine and started working there instead. And I made him a lot of money, and he was a prick, quite frankly. And I just thought, if he can do it and be an arsehole, I can publish a magazine and be, a legitimate, honest, fun businesswoman. And so I launched an online magazine 7 years ago called Urban Coco, which was all about fashion and events in Leeds initially, which is where I'm from. And I did that for a year, just kind of free content online whilst I still had another job in another radio station, and it kind of just built up a massive following from going to all these launch parties and events and writing about fashion brands and new releases at Harvey Nichols or new restaurant opening in Leeds. And then after a year of doing that, I decided to just quit my job and try and turn it into a business. And because I'd had a year of building up all this content and doing all this free stuff, I had all these contacts to go, hey, look, now I'm moving into print. Do you want to pay me to advertise? And so advertisers came on board, and I launched Leeds' first ever free fashion magazine. I had a launch party at Harvey Nichols. We took over the women's wear floor. We had a singer. We had a pop-up bar. And then I had an after party at this bar called Norman's, where there was over 300 people queuing up down the street to get their hands on the first copy, because it was such a big deal back then. And so I did that for a year and a half, producing the magazine every single month. 15,000 copies got handed out across the city. And then after a year, I decided I didn't just want to be a free Leeds magazine. I wanted to be an international paid-for magazine, and didn't think I could do it by myself. So applied to go on Dragon's Den. Didn't think I would get on, but got on. And basically got completely annihilated by Peter Jones, who said, "Who do you think you are? Quit now. It's never going to work." So the next day, it was awful. The next day I was like, oh my God, I'm going to quit. And my parents were like, screw him, like, fuck Peter Jones.
Yeah.
And I did screw Peter Jones, and I got loads more advertisers on board. I got a distribution company involved, and I launched the magazine on sale in 16 countries at the same time that Dragon's Den aired. So it meant that the magazine sold out worldwide. I had over 2 million on the website. It was crazy. And on the back of the show, I was asked to be a media partner for the clothes show. So there was like My Magazine, Cosmopolitan and Elle. And it was like to be positioned alongside those massive publishing houses was massive. And then as part of the partnership, I got a massive space at the event. 20,000 people come through the door every single day. I created a special edition of the magazine to sell. And based on what they told me, I should have made worst case scenario like 60 grand, best case scenario £500,000. So I'm like, I'm going to make £500,000 and put all my eggs in one basket, and basically had to leave the event on the second day because I made £5, and I had to shut everything down and put the company into liquidation. And so closed show killed my business.
Oh, wow.
Naively, like, I shouldn't have put all my eggs in one basket, but I did. And so, yeah, in the same year as kind of Dragon's Den, selling out worldwide, then the company all went tits up at the end of that year. So I had a few months out, didn't know what to do, realised I don't know how to do anything else, rebranded, focused on travel, grew a team of people, and House of Coco is now, it's doing well. It's going all right.
Oh, wow. That is a journey, isn't it? Like, you took me from literally like on the edge of my seat to getting goosebumps to feeling like I'm going to cry to being like, woo!
I came out on the other side.
That's so amazing. Like, honestly, oh my gosh, Laura, that's so inspiring. So I was just telling you about my previous business before we started, and I was approached to go on the Dragon's Den too. And I used to watch the Dragon's Den and really, really in awe. But then one day, I think it was Peter Jones and Deborah Mead, and they just said something that really pissed me off. Like, it's all about their opinions, isn't it? And like, I don't necessarily agree with their opinions, and that was the reason why I didn't take my business forward on it. So it's so great to hear that, because that's a proper grueling thing, isn't it? I've heard that it's like the full day, isn't it? Like, you tell us a bit more about it.
So it was filming in Manchester, and I stayed in a hotel. They put me up in a hotel the night before. They pick you up from the hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you go into hair and makeup, and then you have practice. You practice walking in and out of the den so they can film it from all the different angles. So from 7 a.m, I was the first person to go into the den at 1 o'clock. So from 7 a.m. till 1 p.m, we were just walking up and down, filming different angles, in heels.
I was going to say.
On. So by the time you finally get into the den, it is the first time you see them, and you're absolutely shattered.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty intense. They're not there for, what I realise is the dragons aren't there to help businesses. They're there to raise their media profile. Like, they don't give a shit about me launching a business and trying to be a young female entrepreneur. They don't care about that. They care about getting their name out there. So I realised that afterwards, it's just another reality show. Yeah. And the minute it's over as well, you can't leave the den until everyone says I'm out. And then you get in the lift, which doesn't even move, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you have to stand in the lift while they're filming you. And like, I could feel the tears on my eyes. I was like, I'm going to cry in the lift. And they finally open the doors and let you out. And then you get taken into this kind of back storeroom. Where the guy with the big ears you think is going to be there, but he's not there. It's just you talking to yourself. So there's someone behind the camera saying, so how do you think it went? And it's like, well, I think it went like this. But you don't have time to digest what's happened. And then you get rushed into a taxi, out the back door, see you later, and that's that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gosh, so it's not what you expect at all, is it?
No, and I guess, you spend such a long time leading up to it with the producers who are like, you're amazing, they're going to love you, it's exactly what they're looking for. It's all bullshit. They're just trying to make me go in there thinking I'm going to get investment so that I'm not prepared for the worst. So when I did get the worst, I wasn't prepared for it. Yeah. And I've spent years and years and years watching the show and being like, you idiot, how don't you know your numbers? But when you're in there and there's no wall down the left hand side and 20 camera crew, and like, I literally was sweating. If you find the video online, please don't even look for it. I'm literally like dripping in sweat. I look so scared. And once Peter Jones had ripped me to shreds, then Deborah Meaden started asking me about my numbers, and I didn't even know my name. I'm like, 8,000 this. I didn't know what I was talking about. So, I can imagine there was a lot of people like, she's an idiot. And then on the back of it, you have to deal with people tweeting about you. I had emails and thousands of emails, and some very supportive ones. But you always remember the negative ones. I remember one person sent me an email saying, you look like a pig in a frock. It's like, well, that's constructive. Thanks. Yeah, you twat. Thank you for setting up a fake email address just to tell me I look like a pig in a frog. I appreciate that.
You're beautiful. So, so going back then to like all these events that you set up and kind of building the enthusiasm and the excitement around the launch of your new business, what kind of advice would you give somebody else who's looking to do something like that?
I guess it's all about collaborating with as many brands as you can. So in terms of what events I did, I obviously did the first one for the Leeds magazine at Harvey Nichols, but I already had a relationship with them because I've done loads of free content. And it's also like, what's in it for them? If you can create a collaboration that there's something in it for them too, then chances are they'll want to work with you. And the other thing is just ask. Like, there are so many things you can do if you just ask. There are so many brands that will want to work with you if you just ask. And people are just too fearful of a no that they just don't even bother asking at all. Like, it's amazing what partnerships you can create if you just ask.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
I did do another event for the launch of the international issue at the Hippodrome Casino, which is at Trafalgar Square in London. And I had over 300 guests. I had a singer. We had people doing like makeovers and canapes and cocktails and a pianist, and all I did was ask the casino, can I host my event here? Asked businesses, will you give me products for goodie bags? Yes. It literally is just a matter of just ask. Yeah,
that's really good advice. So going through that journey then, what was the biggest takeaways? Like, what were the biggest things that you changed on, your approach going forward in business?
I guess it was just not being naive and not putting all my eggs in one basket. So, I shouldn't have allowed the clothes show to be I shouldn't put so much into one event with the clothes show that it means if it didn't work out, my business failed. I shouldn't have done that. So it's moving forward, I would never rely on one thing. I guess that's probably the biggest takeaway.
Yeah. Have your options open.
Yeah, definitely. Just don't allow one thing to bring everything down.
So I've recently been watching your vlog.
Oh God.
Oh, it's so amazing. I'll have to post a link to it to anyone who's watching this or listening. So tell us about, how did this start?
So it actually started because a young guy reached out to me on Facebook and he said, Laura, really inspired by what you're doing. I'm thinking of launching a fashion label, or I have launched a fashion label. And he said, I've got a terminal illness. I want to be successful. If there's any advice you can give me, let me know. So I said, hey, let's meet for a coffee. So we met for a coffee, and we uncovered that actually his real passion was in video and editing. And there's a young guy called Jake, probably won't mind me saying, but he's got a terminal illness where he was supposed to have not made it past the age of 18, but was like 22, 23. He'd got new medication, which meant now he should maybe live till the age of 40. And he was like, you're so inspiring. But I was like, I think you're inspiring.
Yeah.
And on the back of his true passion being video editing, I thought, hey, look, I'll launch a video channel. It means he can do video editing. And that was the reason why, really. So we decided to call it Life of Laura, all about me without sounding like a complete narcissist, and everything that I do behind the scenes of the magazine. So we've had 6 videos now, and actually I've paused it for the last sort of 6 weeks because all the videos were really fun and everything, and like me in New Orleans, like popping champagne on the rooftop, and literally just everything that I do behind the scenes of the magazine. But after 6 episodes, I kind of like looked back at all of them, and I'm just drinking alcohol all the time. Like, I don't want people to think I'm like this alcoholic lunatic. I just thought about like what I want to be known for in the long run, which is a successful female entrepreneur. And so instead of this video series of me just being a complete pissed lunatic, I'm changing it to more of an interview series with other female entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's exciting.
Changing the direction. But yeah, there's 6 videos out there of me being a all around the world crazy idiot.
Oh no, they were amazing to watch. And also the one got me was when you was driving my dream car. Is it a Land Rover Evoque?
Yeah, so it's a Range Rover Evoque convertible.
Oh my gosh. So tell us, how did that come about?
You've still got it? Oh.
I've got until the end of the year. So basically, last year, Range Rover launched the new, well, it came out this year, sorry, but last year, Land Rover got in touch to tell me about the launch of this new convertible Range Rover, and they said, like, do I want to loan it to work on some content for the magazine? So I don't know if it's in this one, actually. I think it's the one before. Yeah, it's the one before. So I took this convertible Range Rover to the south of France, and I did a road trip for a week with Sam, who's the deputy editor, and we went from New Orleans, that's a lie, why am I saying that? I'm just reading the back of the magazine. It said New Orleans. We did Monte Carlo, Cannes, Juan-le-Pin, somewhere else, in this convertible Range Rover, and we did this massive article about how, you know, it's the perfect car for a road trip. And then they loved the coverage so much, and I got back in touch with them and said, look, I've got loads more ideas of things that we can do moving forward, and they gave me the car for 6 months.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I still have it outside. It's so sexy. It's so sexy. I love it,
isn't it? I'm
basically creating loads of fun, cool content for the magazine, and they are giving me the car to do it. So
that's so amazing.
Oh, you see what happens when you ask.
Yeah. So do you think then there's like a specific kind of way that you've got to think and act in order to put yourself out there and I suppose in whatever way we describe it, become successful?
Yeah, definitely. I think your mindset is the vehicle to success. Like, if you have negative thoughts and you're a negative person, you're never really gonna have success. But if you have a positive mindset and you always believe that everything's gonna work out in the end, chances are it will. Like, thoughts become things, and all these cliche sayings that everyone throws about that we all know now. You know, as cheesy as it is and as cliche as it sounds, it's the truth. If you think you're gonna win, you're gonna win. If you think you're gonna get that partnership, you're gonna get the partnership. And yeah, positive, happy thoughts will prevail.
I love that. Is that a Napoleon Hill saying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like think and grow rich. Yeah. Napoleon Hill, he drops in all those thoughts become things, and like, but it's true. It's true. And also, like, I think as well, people don't realize that success is actually really monotonous and boring. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that goes on for months, weeks, years. And it's a lot of repetition. It's a lot of repeating the same shit day in, day out, day in, day out. And eventually you get there. So things like waking up in the morning, reading positive books, listening to positive podcasts, repeating the same things like reaching out to new brands, approaching new potential customers. If you just keep repeating that, over time it will compound into big results. But people don't want to do that because it's like, well, it sounds too easy, so I'm not doing it. But it's like, it is really that easy. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, it's so simple, isn't it? And yeah, it's just, it's only as hard as you ever make it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So do you think there's like one in particular tool that you use that's really been kind of the most effective thing in your day, or just the way you are, or the thing that keeps you going and motivated?
I mean, the thing that keeps me going, and the reason I get out of bed in the morning, is because I never, ever, ever want to be employed by someone again. So just the fear of not being able to run my own diary is enough to get me out of bed. I think the other thing that motivates me is I have a team of 24 contributors around the world called, together we're all called Team Coco. I guess seeing them get life experiences because of the magazine motivates me. Like, one of them is just flown off this morning with her boyfriend to the French Alps to a yoga retreat for the next week. Another one has just come back from Lebanon this weekend. One of them is going to Amsterdam at the weekend for a gay festival. I just got an invitation to the Maldives yesterday. I got an invitation to Canada today. It's like creating these life experiences for other people. Like, that gets me out of bed in the morning. Seeing people tick things off their bucket list because of something I created, that gets me out of bed in the morning. I guess I'm at the stage now where I'm like, this business isn't about me, it's about everyone else. And when you get to that stage, I think that's when you're on the right path.
Yeah, when you feel as though you've really got purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Sam is the deputy editor, and I know his dream is to go to Canada. He wants to go and live in Canada. And so I got the invitation earlier to Ottawa for a week in Canada. And like, it sounds incredible. I would love to do it, I've already been twice to Canada, and I'm like literally can't wait to get off of this interview to tell him that he can go, because I know he's going to. Like, I'm so excited to tell him. Like, hopefully I'll tell him before he watches this video back, because I don't want to give it away.
Oh, Laura, you're so lovely.
Oh, thank you. Well, so are you.
Oh, thanks. Okay, has there been like, so you mentioned that you read a lot of books and podcasts. Is there a podcast and a book that you could recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not massive on podcasts at the minute. I'm just kind of getting into it, but I do listen to a lot of like YouTube videos. One of my favourite motivators is Les Brown.
Oh, I love Les.
Kind of slogan is, you have greatness within you. He believes everyone has greatness within them. It's just a matter of tapping into it. One of the things he said that always sticks in my head is, he said, where is the richest place on the planet? You know, is it Dubai? Is it New York? And it's like, no, it's the graveyard, because that is the place where all these dreams and ambitions that people had never got lived out. All the books that were never written are there. All the motivational speakers are there. And then it just kind of makes you think, like, fuck, I don't want to be in the graveyard without living out my dreams. So he's my favourite. And then I try and read one new book every single week. One of my favourites was The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy, I think.
Yeah.
Which I think is brilliant for anyone who's just starting out, because when you just start in business, you think you've got this like massive end goal that's going to take forever to get there. But the compound effect teaches you how to make those little steps every single day that eventually over time compound into big results. So I'd definitely recommend that one. And the one that I'm reading at the moment is 2 books actually. One's called something about habits. I can't remember what it's called. It's just about how to create habits and how to break habits and why we create them. It's quite scientific, but it's really interesting. And then the other one I'm reading is called Chicken Soup, which is all bigger brother. If you look on my Instagram, it's on there, and it's basically a collection of short stories which are really heartwarming and like really sweet and just kind of make you sit back and think. So yeah, I'm like a book whore.
Oh yeah, right there with you. Oh, there's something about a real book as well, isn't there?
Yeah, like I have a Kindle but I never use it.
Yeah,
I just
same.
all, like, turning pages. What book would you recommend?
Oh gosh, there are so many. I think my favourite is The E-Myth, which is all about processes in business and how to automate everything. Have you read that one?
I haven't, no, but I guess that'll be really good for your membership stuff.
You'd love it as well. And I think it's so hard to choose. I'd probably say at the moment, The Universe Has Got Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein.
Oh, I have that, but I haven't read it yet.
It's so lovely.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. But there are so many. I could sit here for hours talking about books and my favourite ones. But yeah, so thank you so much, Laura, for being here with us today. It's so amazing. And like I said, you've took me from goosebumps to sitting on the edge of my seat to crying my eyes out.
Don't cry.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I mean, not that I can think of, but anyone who's watching this, who's like sitting on an idea or like wants to do something but doesn't dare or is scared or is fearful, like just go and do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, where can anyone find you then if they want to ask you any questions about this interview?
So Laura Barlett 0 is my name on Instagram, Twitter. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Like, I will accept anyone within reason. Like, if you're like a complete weirdo, then no. And if you want to email me, just laura@houseofcoco.net. Just Google Laura Bartlett. I'll come up there somewhere. And I'm always receptive to anyone who wants to chat. So that's me.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for thinking of me.
Oh, you're amazing, Laura, honestly.
As always, this is Rebecca on the Coaching Podcast, and I want you to think about how can you be the best version of yourself today. You are the only person you need to be in competition with. And remember, the time is now. Yes, you can. Have an amazing day. I love you all, and I hope to see you live with me over on the Facebook page every Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 9 and 11 a.m. London time. Enjoy the rest of your day.